hao. It's RJ with Tai Chi for you. Welcome everybody to the new Taijiquan beginner series. So what I'm going to do here, this is going to be for people that have zero Taijiquan experience. It's for the newbies out there. So we're not going to get too involved in learning a complete form. We're just going to look at individual postures, and hopefully this will interest you enough to possibly pursue a complete form. So my background, I've been studying Taijiquan and Qigong for over 20 years. I teach at Meta Wellness in Paxton, Mass. I just want you to know that we're taking all the necessary precautions so you can feel safe there. We have other programs going on besides Taijiquan. We have massage therapy and Reiki and Ayurveda consults. So if you're interested in some of those other things, give us a call. So, Taijiquan and Qigong. So, what is it exactly? Well, Qigong is made up of two words. We have Qi and we have Gong. In the word Qi, this is a Chinese term that refers to all types of energy. The word Gong is really anything that you practice and cultivate. So when we put the two words together, it's really the cultivation of Qi. It's exercises typically using breathing and hand movements, sometimes visualization. And what these do is they increase your health, the immunity in the body, they keep you young and healthy, make you stronger. The word Taijiquan, sometimes it's translated as a healing martial art, or sometimes called a Qigong martial art. So all of the theories that relate to Qigong also apply to Taijiquan. The difference is Taijiquan is also a martial art, whereas Qigong by itself is not a martial art. Now, Qigong we can practice for different reasons. We can practice for our health. We can practice Qigong to use in the martial art area, keeping the body strong. And we can also practice Qigong for a higher consciousness, or a philosophy, or a spiritual path. Now, Taijiquan, we can practice just as an exercise to keep us young and healthy. And then at some point in your practice, the teacher can help you understand the movements a little bit deeper to be used as a martial art. So just know that the martial arts side does not happen in your first week, doesn't happen in your first month or a couple of months. It happens over a period of time if you so desire to pursue that. So as I said, this series is for newbies. If you're ever interested in learning a complete form, well, we've got that covered. We've just finished a Tai Chi challenge learning 16 form, Yang style. So in this video series, we're going to be looking at Beijing style Taijiquan. So anybody that is familiar with other styles such as Wudang or Chenmensheng, this style differs. The practice is different. So the principles don't apply so much to the other styles. So we're going to be looking at Beijing here. And today's lesson, we're going to be looking at Yang style, or Yang family style. Taijiquan and yoga do have some things in common. They're both a mind-body exercise or discipline. The practice is practiced differently. In yoga, we have postures, and typically the postures remain on the mat. Taijiquan can be thought of as a Chinese yoga, but the difference is we learn postures as we step in different directions, as we move in space. We move from one posture to the next, and we do not hold the postures. Each posture flows from one to the next. So one of the differences in yoga, you become very, very flexible. You increase your balance, your strength. In Taijiquan, you also increase your balance and strength, and this happens over time. The flexibility is not as extreme as yoga, but your body it's going to start moving in ways that will surprise you. And again, over time, they'll surprise you and they'll surprise other people. If you're interested in that sort of thing. So let's get started with our first posture. So again, this is from the Yang style. It's a very large frame practice. And the posture we're going to work on today is called Part the Wild Horse's Mane. In Chinese, it's translated as Ye Ma Fen Zong. So we start with what's called mountain climbing stance. To do that, I'll give you a side view here. So I'm going to step out with my right foot. My toe is pointing forward, and my right front leg has a bend to it. The back leg has a little bit of a bend to it as well, and my body remains upright. So this is going to apply to all the postures. The body will always remain upright. The top of the head reaches up to the sky. So you always want a good posture. You don't want to be slumped forward. To have a good posture, I'll give you this angle here. So again, what you want is take a small step forward. That front toe, you want it pointed forward. The back toe, however, has had a slight angle to it. And we have a couple of reasons for that. One is it's a stronger posture. You're more stable. And the other one is you're not going to hurt your knee by having the foot turn the other direction. So you're protecting the knee and you're in a good stance. So this is our mountain climbing stance. I'll give you this angle here again. So we're in mountain climbing stance here. A big bend in the front leg, a little bend in the back. Now from here, what we're going to do is go into sit back stance. To do that, we straighten out the front leg and give more of a bend to the back leg. And that pulls the body back. So now there's more of a bend in the back leg and there's a slight bend in that front knee. So again, we're in mountain climbing stance here. I have a good posture. You can see there's a large bend in that front leg. Now if I straighten that front leg out and bend the back leg, my body moves back into sit back stance. So these are the two stances we're going to be looking at today. So let's just rock back and forth from mountain climbing stance to sit back stance. Keeping the body upright the whole time, just rocking back and forth. So this is the movement that we're going to use for our first posture, part the wild horse's mane. So when we're in mountain climbing stance, most of the weight is in that front leg. There's some weight in the back leg. When we go into sit back stance, it's just the reverse. Most of your weight is in that back leg, and there's a little bit of weight in the front leg. So just get used to that rocking back and forth. Back and forth. Now let's change legs. So step out with the left leg, and again, make sure that front toe is pointing forward. The back toe has a slight angle to it. And I'll give you a side view here. So we'll start in mountain climbing stance. The front leg has a big bend to it, a little bend in the back leg. We go into sit back stance, straightening out the front leg and bending the back leg further. So now we just go back and forth from sit back stance to mountain climbing stance, making sure to keep the back straight and the top of the head reaching up to the sky. So we just go back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so now let's stand with both feet pointing forward, about hips width apart, and we'll start with the right hand. So start with the right palm facing upwards, and turn your waist. Turn your waist to the left, so your right hand is on the left side of the body. And you'll notice that my arm has a nice curvature to it. So I'm not stretched out straight like this. I have a bend in the elbow, and my palm is facing up. My fingers are almost pointing in back of me, but they're at a slight angle. So I just turn my waist here, so my arm comes across, and my right hand is on the left side of the body. So now from here, I'm going to turn my waist back to center, and as I do that, I'm going to stretch that right arm forward in front of me. From this angle here, you can see that the palm remains upwards. I keep that nice bend in the elbow, and I'm here. And I'm also looking over the tops of the fingers. So I'm not covering my eyesight. My hand is just below the eyesight, so I can see over the tops of the fingers. So from this position here, we're just going to reverse that. I'm going to turn my waist to the left and just pull that arm in so the hand is on the left side of the body. So I turn the waist back to center, and the hand reaches out in front of me. I turn my waist to the left, the arm comes in and goes back out. The arm comes in and goes back out. So again, keep that palm always facing up to the sky, and you can imagine you're balancing a ball in the palm of the hand. So carry the ball to the side of the body and then in front of you. Turn the waist, pull the arm in, and stretch the arm out. Always keeping a nice curve in that elbow. So now let's flip to the other side. So take the left hand, place it on the right side of the body, and turn the waist to the right. So left hand on the right side of the body this time, and the waist is turned to the right. So now, as the waist turns back to center, the left hand reaches out. And again, this is the view here. I have a nice bend in the elbow, and I can see over my fingers. So now I turn my waist back to the right, and the arm brings the hand to the right side of the body. I reach out, my body goes to center. Turn my waist, pull the arm in. Imagine carrying that ball in the palm of the hand, balancing a ball in the hand. Okay, so now we're going to combine the two. We're going to get into mountain climbing stance. Remember, there's a big bend in that front leg, a little bend in the back leg. Make sure that front toe is pointed forward. The back toe has a slight angle to it. So now take that right arm and place it just below the belly button. So turn your waist a little bit and place that right hand below the belly button. So it's the same leg and the same hand is forward. So we're in mountain climbing stance at this point. Go into sit-back stance. Okay, so now we're in sit-back stance. I'll give you this angle here. So we were in mountain climbing stance, and now we're in sit-back stance. My waist is turned a little bit to the left. The right hand is below the belly button, and the right leg is forward. So now we're going to combine all those movements. As my body moves forward into mountain climbing stance, my arm reaches out in front of me, and I turn my waist to center. So now I'm here. So now I'm going to go into sit-back stance. My waist is going to turn to the left, and that arm will get pulled in. Once again, the palm is just below the belly button. So that's our angle, that's our situation now. My body moves forward into mountain climbing stance. My waist turns forward, and that arm reaches out in front of me. We sit back, turn the waist, and pull the arm in. Go into mountain climbing stance, reach out, and turn the waist forward. So I'll give you this view now. We're here. We go into sit-back stance. I'm turning my waist and pulling the arm in. Now I go into mountain climbing stance. The arm reaches out as my body turns back to center. So my chest is center. I go into sit-back stance, pull that arm in. Reach out, turn the body forward into mountain climbing stance. Go into sit-back stance. Go into mountain climbing stance. Sit back. Mountain climbing stance. So you can see eventually what you want is you want the whole body moving at the same time. You don't want the hand moving and then the body moves. Everything moves at the same time. So we go from mountain climbing stance, turn the waist into sit-back stance. Turn the waist back to center and reach out. So now let's change legs. Place the left leg forward and the left hand on the right side of the body below the navel. So we turn the waist to the right, and the left hand is palm up now below the navel. And we're in sit-back stance. So we go into mountain climbing stance, turn our waist, and stretch out the left hand. We rock back into sit-back stance, turn the waist, and pull that arm in. Mountain climbing stance, reach out, sit back, pull the arm in, turn the waist, stretch out. Again, once you understand what has to be done, then try to make it as smooth as you can, moving the whole body at the same time. So when I go into mountain climbing stance, my arm is already extended at the same time. When I go into sit-back stance, the arm and the body stops at the same time. And this will apply to all Taijiquan movement. This is developed over time. It won't happen your first week or your first month to be able to practice an entire form with this fluidity. But Taijiquan is a journey. It's not something you learn overnight. So I want to point out something. On YouTube, right on the video screen, there's a little setting there. And you can change the speed at which you're watching the video. So you can take any of these videos, or any video on YouTube, and slow it down if you need the movements to go a little bit slower to understand what's happening. And again, you can do this with anything on YouTube. So now let's add another detail here. So we've been using one hand at a time. So now let's incorporate the other hand. So we'll start with the feet pointing forward and take the right hand, turn the waist to the left like we did before, and place the right hand on the side of the body. So the right hand is on the left side of the body. Now take the left hand and place it above the other hand. So imagine that you're holding a ball. The right hand is palm up, the left hand is palm down, and we're holding a ball. I'll give you this angle here because what you notice is my elbow is not sticking up, my shoulder and elbow are relaxed. And the high hand is on top of the ball. The low hand is under the ball. So again, my waist is turned to the left. The left hand is on top of the ball. The right hand is under the ball. So now we're going to combine the two hands. I turn my waist to center. My low hand reaches out in front of me. The other hand presses down anywhere around the pocket. So now this is our position here. The bottom hand, the palm is facing the ground and the fingers point forward. So now we reverse that action. So take that low hand and raise it up and bring the other hand in to hold the ball as you turn the waist back to the left. So now again, reach out that low arm and turn the body forward and take the other hand and just press down. So now reverse that again. Bring the low hand up, pull the other arm in and turn the waist. Stretch out, press down. Raise that low arm, turn the waist to the left, and pull the arm in. So we're holding the ball. And I'll give you this angle here. So I reach out and press down. Bring that low hand back up, turn the waist, and pull the arm in, holding the ball. Eventually, this is what you want. You want both arms moving at the same time, and the waist is moving with it. So now, let's add all this together. So let's get into mountain climbing stance. Hold the ball with the left hand on top and go into sit back stance. So our waist is turned to the left. We go into a mountain climbing stance. We reach out with that right arm as the other hand presses down anywhere around the pocket. Bring that low hand up, pull the arm in, sit back stance. Remember to turn the waist to the left. We go into mountain climbing stance, turn the waist to center and reach out. Press that hand down. Bring the hand up, sit back stance, pull the arm in, turning the waist. So we're holding the ball on the left side of the body. So now try to make that a little bit more fluid. We go from sit back stance, holding the ball, into mountain climbing stance. Sit back, mountain climbing stance. Sit back stance. Mountain climbing stance. I'll give you this angle again, right here. Sit back stance. Mountain climbing stance. Sit back. Mountain climbing stance. Again, try to make it as fluid as you can. The whole body moves at the same time. Just keep working at it and you'll get it. So now let's change sides. So again, start with the feet pointing forward and stretch out the left hand. Bring the left arm into the body, turning the waist to the right, and now take the right hand, place it on top. So now we're holding the ball on the right side of the body. The right hand is on top of the ball, the left hand is under the ball. So now we turn the body back to center and stretch out that left arm. The other hand presses down anywhere around the pocket. Bring that low hand up, turn the waist to the right and pull the arm in, holding the ball on the right side of the body. Turn the waist back to center, stretch out with the left arm and press down. Bring the arm up, turn the waist to the right, pull that arm into the body. Turn back to center, stretch out, and press down. And again, when I say turn back to center, my chest is pointed forward, whether we're in this stance or in mountain climbing stance. Turn the waist to the right, pull the arm in. So try to make that as fluid as you can. The whole body moves at the same time. And take it one step at a time. Just work at your own pace. This video is going to be here for you to go back to. The Taijiquan practice is not a competition. You might want to make it one, but it's going to happen at your own pace in your own time. So now let's get into mountain climbing stance on the left side. Take a step with the left leg. Go into sit back stance. Now the right hand is on top of the ball. The left hand is under the ball. And our waist is turned a little bit to the right. So now we go into a mountain climbing stance. The left arm reaches out as I turn my waist to center. The other hand presses down anywhere around the pocket. We sit back, raise that low arm, pull the forward arm into the body, turning the waist. Go into mountain climbing stance. Stretch out that low arm and press down with the other arm. Keeping that low arm flat to the ground and the fingers pointed forward. We sit back, raise that arm up, pull the other one into the body, so we're holding the ball on the right side. mountain climbing stance. Sit back. Slowly, we're learning to move the entire body, all at the same time. Pay attention to your posture. Make sure your back is straight. Okay, so that's today's lesson. Taijiquan, what happens is we learn how to isolate all the joints in the body, and then when we do our Taijiquan practice, all of those joints link together in one fluid movement. And all this takes time. But the practice is very enjoyable. It's going to help keep you young and healthy, and that's pretty much it for now. So I look forward to doing the next lesson with you. Keep up with the practice. And again, this is RJ with Tai Chi for you. Take care.